We on there? We ready? I got you. Well, if Nick says it's true, it must be time for another episode of the Creatives Crowns Talk Show. Welcome back, everybody. We are happy to have you back. This is the Creative Crowns Talk Show, a platform where we go ahead and show love to our artists, our creators, our entrepreneurs, and everybody in between. Shouts out Ms. Label Production. Of course, shout out Nick Will. Shout out Evan the Three. Shout out for artists, by artists. Make sure you come tap in with us every Thursday at Common Market South End for the Real Artists, Real Entertainment Open Mic Series. We are going crazy out here in the city. And of course, again, here at the VAPA Center. And for our for our guest of the day, I'm super grateful to have her on here because these are one of the people that keeps our city looking beautiful, that keeps our walls looking incredible, and of course has interesting affiliations that she has to let us know. I need y'all to put your hands together for the one and only Lindsay Nicole. Lindsay, how are you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I cannot complain. I'm grateful that you are here today. What's been going on for you today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Enjoying this beautiful rainy weather.
You said that you like rainy days and gray days. I'm so grateful to hear that because I feel like a lot of people don't. I love a good rainy gray day. So We're already friends and family on that.
Absolutely.
On that setup. So Lindsay, of course, I did not do you the justice of showing you love and introducing you. I'm terrible at that. I do apologize. Lindsay, please let us know again who you are, what you do.
So my name is Lindsay. I'm here for Plants is my brand name and Instagram handle. I'm an artist and muralist here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've got studio space over at a collaborative Activation Studios.
Absolutely.
And I work on a mural crew. I work here at the VAPA Center, just kind of dipping my toes and hands in all things art in Charlotte.
Absolutely. So where does that start for you as far as getting your hands in the art here in the city of Charlotte? You from Charlotte originally?
I was born in Gastonia, but from Hendersonville, Asheville area, like right outside Blue Ridge Mountains area.
Gotcha.
Moved here in 2004 and been here ever since. So I went like high school, grew up here. Came out into the Charlotte art scene about 2 years ago, just wanting to finally say yes.
Absolutely.
Instead of telling myself no and just giving myself a chance to step out there, and was received very well and welcomed into the community. And a part of that is Activation Studios.
Absolutely.
Talent scout and facilities manager there, Matt Alvis, essentially saw me out in the wild and kind of pulled me in. Had me a part of Shout last year, and that kind of blew me up a little bit and kind of showed me what I could do, making this like a stable career, funding my life off of art, and just kind of been going hard at it ever since.
100%, absolutely. And you said it's only been within the past 2 years that you've really been going hard and finding that success and that reception in the scene. So what was that first introduction into the art scene? Do you know, was it like a show? Was it like, what was it that first, like, hey, I'm here, I'm Lindsay, this is my stuff? What was that?
So before I met Matt, it was actually Charlotte Street Art Collaborative.
Okay, gotcha.
That I was getting connected with. Kathleen Finch is the founder of that organization, and she is a lot about helping artists get started, paid shows to help build a stable career in the arts. Met her through Charlotte Edge Fest. And just kind of connected with her. We really resonated with each other, and she opened the door for me to do a live paint at a music show that was going on at a collaborative, another art collab group. And I did that, and I was hooked immediately. That was my first time that I'd ever live painted and been in a space that was creative focused and creatively programmed for whatever it may be, even if it was just a night. But being in that space and being able to kind of feed off of that energy and vibe with the people and meet people, but also have something that I'm anchored to, that piece, that whatever it is that I'm creating, to kind of take away any social nerves or anxiety that I may have.
Absolutely.
Because I struggle with that personally. So that made me realize, I was like, I can do this, and I want to do this. So that's kind of where it started, and then taking off with the collaborative and doing a couple of Edge Fests. I just did the third one, which was year 5 for them, but year 3 for me. And that's kind of where it all started.
I got you. Absolutely. So you said, so as being a muralist, how do you get into becoming a muralist? Because I'm actually not super familiar with how you get into that line of art, because I mean that's such a expansive part of it on a large scale. How do you get into that side of art?
That was something I had always admired too, like from outside in, and that was a goal of mine starting out in 2024. I was like, I want to do a mural. I want to make murals. And that door opened for me kind of after I was initiated into activation. Around May of last year was when Matt found me and I did the Charlotte Shout. And then he asked me if I would be interested in having studio space at activation with, of course, I agreed.
Of course.
That was something that was also on my goal, a dream list to be a part of a collaborative group in Charlotte. And once I got in there, there was another artist that opened the door for me and had a copious amount of connections and jobs lined up, and she needed help. And I helped her on a couple of murals. Her name's Natalie Daratoni.
Gotcha.
Just by Natalie Daratoni Art. And I helped her on a couple, and then she actually gave me a connection to get my first mural. And it was an interior mural doing the mountains, which was very connected to my heart and something that I value. And that's kind of how I got into it. And it was just word of mouth and being able to network and connect with people in my community and showing that I had a want for something and also showing that I had the drive to back that up. For people to be like, okay, I see that this person, wants to do this, and like I have the ability to, maybe offer that to that person, which I'm forever grateful to her for doing that, because it did open the door for me to continue down the road to now be a part of a mural crew.
That's insane. Absolutely, absolutely. Where does the love for art stem from for you?
Birth.
Of course, absolutely. What was it? I guess what's one of the first like instances of just you like loving the idea of art, creating art, and like putting it on display?
When I was a kid, my mom, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, up in Hendersonville, she funded me to go to art classes after school.
That's dope.
And I would do that every week for like 2 days a week for like 4 hours after school. And I loved it. And that's kind of what ignited it all. And when I was a kid, I remember one of the first times from that instance, we were putting art on display at the state fair. And that was one of the first shows that I ever did when I was a kid. I was probably still single digits when I did that, or maybe 10. And got like a ribbon, got like second or third.
Nice.
Something like
okay,
that.
I got you.
And I remember just feeling so seen and like validated. And my family, my mom and my grandfather on my mom's side were always very accepting and pushed me to do this. They were always in my corner about art. So that's kind of where I guess it started.
Understood. Do you have other artists in the family? Are you kind of the first generation artist?
It's just me, solo dolo.
Understood. Yeah. Hey, absolutely. Somebody got to start it, right? Absolutely. So, Lindsay, let's talk about, you mentioned it earlier, so Activation Studios. So, explain to us a little bit more about what that was and how they inducted you in and how that's been kind of working with Activation Studios.
So Activation Studios' whole idea is essentially to go into places that are essentially just sitting there. And activate that space essentially until it is going to be used for another purpose, whatever it is. But if a space is just sitting there and not being used, why not let some artists optimize that space and activate it and bring in some creative ideas and energy to then therefore maybe give that space some more energy in the future
100%.
For future endeavors. So that's kind of what we do. I have been a part of this installation, which has been activating the old Plaza Presbyterian Church.
Okay, got you.
We share the campus space with Arts Plus, but they have been in old galleries in NODA, activated an old McDonald's. Yeah, you name it. We've been in an old bank down up on North College Street, the old BB&T.
Absolutely.
So just kind of any space like that we can hop in and activate and bring creative space into Charlotte and creative minds into Charlotte.
How is that how difficult of a process is that? Are there like certain guidelines on buildings that you have to choose that you're wanting to activate? Or if I just see like a rundown warehouse and I say I want to activate that warehouse, I just speak with activation and we just go through and get it situated? Or are there just kind of rules and guidelines and things that we have to go through before we even pick places?
Yeah, there's certain things that you have to consider, like making sure that buildings are up to code, like actually like able to be inhabited, quote unquote, to code by humans, which is why the church is so great and why like the old BB&T bank was so great, because those spaces are sitting there, they've already been built, they've already been coded essentially, and they haven't gone completely to the wayside, if you will. like already have like plumbing and electricity and the able to kind of like plug and play.
Absolutely.
So if a building is like plug and play for human kind of ready, we're interested in
Okay,
that.
absolutely. Is there a list of locations like that, or is it something you have to like go around, sneak around and find? Like, how do you guys find locations to do that?
A lot of boots on ground, a lot of just kind of walking around and seeing what's available currently in your city. Because you can go online and, you know, search for stuff via real estate, but there's a lot of things that you can find, and just seeing a building and being like, hey, that building sat there for a while.
Absolutely.
Wonder who owns that. Like, and just figuring out how your city works and how it's connected and who to connect with to
Absolutely.
be able to activate those spaces and create longevity for the artist community.
Heavy. And you mentioned something earlier. With your activations, you are all doing this. Are you doing this for I guess just pushing out the arts, or is this of course kind of paralleling as networking events, things of that nature, to grow and find those new spots? Like, what is the real core for Activation Studios as far as like what they're trying to accomplish?
They're wanting to, or we're wanting to, I guess, to create affordable art space for creatives to have in Charlotte, because that is fast leaving this city.
Yes, absolutely.
Being bulldozed every day. So it's a way to have space for artists to create, fashion designers to design. We've also got in our basement, we have a live music venue space called Moss Haven, which artists are also able to record and rehearse for other shows at other local venues in the area.
Absolutely.
So that's another good way to activate the space and keep artists making sure that they have the tools in their community to be able to grow and continue bringing that creative revenue into Charlotte.
Absolutely. So from your perspective, what is the next situation that Activation Studios is currently working on or trying to put together?
So we've been in our good old church here now for about a year and change, but the deadline is fast approaching for us to have to vacate. Gotcha. End of July is when we're essentially going to have to go. Arts Plus is going to be taking over the entire campus and doing some YMCA after school programs for kids, which is awesome. Great, cool. But we got to find another place to land.
Absolutely.
So we need to find a place essentially that will house about 15 to 20 artists, you know, with a possible space for live music, performing possibilities. And that's currently what we are scouring the city for.
Understood. I got you. How hard has that search been for you all? Are y'all deep into the search right now? Or?
Yeah, for sure. We've been in it for a while. It's been... there's been some hurdles for sure. Understood. I mean, there's a lot going on with the economy and with the state of the world in general that's making it a little bit difficult, I think, for everybody. And there's multiple collaboratives that, you know, are dealing with this issue. We're not the only ones.
Absolutely.
So that also goes into play.
Absolutely. So and from I would love to know your personal thoughts on this. As a musician myself, it's always been hard to find places just to be in, especially as a hip hop artist. It's always hard to find venues to be in, and hearing creatives and artists on the your side, it's the same thing. It's hard to find galleries. It's hard to find places that will accept your art to be seen, at least for a good amount of time. How has that affected your ability to do art, if at all? Like, I know you said that once you've been able to display your stuff, that you do feel seen, and of course we want to make sure that we're consistently doing that. But from what you're saying, of course, you guys are having to leave your current space now. You're having a hard time finding a new one, and there aren't a lot of opportunities within the city of Charlotte to find. Has that changed the way that you created and been able to put your stuff out recently, or has there been any change at all?
I think it's changed a lot of the ways that artists in general in this city are able to show their work and able to display it. I mean, if you think about, you know, this was before my time of exploring it, but I mean, Noda's creation and there were galleries everywhere on the streets, and now, you know, that's not the case. But the case is there's a lot of bars and there's a lot of local places to hang out like that. So, and there's a lot of local apartment complexes. Absolutely. So you kind of have to switch your brain a little bit and figure out, okay, well, there's still walls available. How do I get on them? So that's when you go out and we do that boots on ground. Yes. And I'm very grateful to Matt Alphys, my teacher and dear friend, for teaching me this. But it's very much about finding the walls and then connecting with the people who own those walls.
Absolutely.
Same way it would be with galleries, but now it's local bar owners, local apartment complexes, local nail salons, and just learning of all the places now that are, for me, I really stick to around NODA and the art district.
Absolutely.
But just finding out where you can activate those spaces and activate those walls to show people that the art is still here, even if the neighborhood is changing.
Absolutely.
I have my art hung up in local bars, local apartment complexes, their offices. A local nail salon, Bizu CLT in NODA, is very open to keeping that local art and that energy that created NODA alive, and they have opened their walls to let multiple artists display in there. And a lot of local businesses are like that if you'll talk to them.
100%.
So,
and I was going to say, so are you all having personal one-on-one conversations with these business owners in order to activate some of these spaces, or even if it's not a space that has an owner, when you're going in and activating these places, is it a fight to get some of these set up? Like, are you guys pulling tooth and nail to get into these places, or are they kind of receptive to what you're trying to do?
I think a lot of people, it's more receptiveness.
That's good.
I haven't really experienced any pushback. It's mostly people just don't really expect the conversation.
I got you.
So if you open up the door and have the conversation, 9 times out of 10, it normally is a yes, because people are interested in this type of conversation, and they're also seeing the benefit to their business in that area.
Absolutely.
To show that you are about art.
Absolutely.
So I don't see it, and I think so far the businesses, at least that I have worked with, don't see any possible negative outcome to letting an artist have art on their walls.
Understood. Absolutely. So let's talk about your artistry a little bit more. So are you specialized in murals mainly? What is your specialty when it comes to art? So
murals has been something that I've done within the past year or so, but mostly I like doing commission work, and I kind of just like painting whatever I want to paint.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I just kind of let myself go. It's the one place where I don't hold myself back in any way, shape, or form. So that's kind of what happens with that. And then a lot of the originals end up being sold. I create prints from them. But it's kind of just what I'm feeling and what I want to express.
What is it that you're usually trying to express? Like, for example, this incredible piece right here. If you had to break this down, if you're able to, what are you really trying to get across from your pieces? Are they usually going through series of emotions, or what's the through line for all your pieces, if I can ask?
Thank you for asking.
Of course.
A lot of it, I call it art craft. So I'm very connected to nature and going out there and recharging and replenishing myself and my mind to be able to then give creative anything back to the world. And the plants kind of helped me come back to myself in general. I lost my mom in 2019.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So when I lost her at the funeral procession, I got a lot of plants, like a lot of pothos, lilies, and stuff like that. And I still have them today. Absolutely. But through that process of keeping them alive and caring for them, I created a hobby that I love plants, but it also taught me self-care. And it brought me back to be able to create. Yes. Because I had finally done the self-care that I needed to do in that state of grief that I was going through.
Absolutely.
So now creating art, the plants always show up, and the brand is I'm here for plants, kind of to pay tribute and homage to the plants and what they've done for me, and homage to my mom. And honoring her and honoring them in the process, and kind of gifting back to the world what they've gifted me. 100%. And kind of showing that whimsy and fun and joy that comes from nature, regardless of whatever state you may be in, that healing that comes from it. So this piece here kind of adds into like the whimsy of nature and making more of a surrealism 100%. Kind of tied to it. It was kind of my take on Grandmother Willow. Like
I got you. Yeah.
Like a moon portal in the middle of the woods, and just kind of going there for insight, wisdom, recharging.
Absolutely.
The chick in the front is me with the red hair.
Okay. Facts. Okay. Boom.
My dear friend Matt also referenced that it kind of looks like Thomas the Train.
I can see the resemblance.
So
I got you.
And just kind of like riffing off of that. And,
for sure.
Yeah, and just kind of enjoying that. The process of creating this is now going to kind of become a series of
absolutely
surreal Thomas the Train faces and random nature places you wouldn't suspect. So
that's incredible, 100%.
Keep an eye out for that.
I can't wait, honestly. So let me ask you this: so you have these, you also do prints. Mm-hmm. Are you doing merch as well, or is it just like it just? Boom, there we go. We'll have to zoom in on that when we start editing, but 100%. So we have plenty of ways to put money in your pocket. Yeah. Through some way, somehow we can do that for sure. Do you have a art show coming up anytime soon? Like, are you planning anything anytime soon?
We do have our summer little celebration that we're doing at Victoria Yards. Activation is going to be activating another space. Gotcha. It'll be on July 11th. We're going to have some live music, live painters, food trucks, vendors. I'll be there hanging out. And then as well as I'll be at every Final Fridays that Activation is going to have until we're out. So end of July, but it's always the last Friday of July.
Gotcha.
I'll be kicking there, vending, have my studio up on the top floor.
Absolutely.
I'll be hanging out there to say hello and activate. Other than that, kind of taken a little bit of time this summer to recharge a little bit. Okay. April was really busy, did Edge Fest and had the block party here at VAPA.
True. Got you.
Did a lot of stuff, so I'm kind of going to be going out to the moon portal a little bit this summer and recharge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you just brought it up. How did you get involved here at VAPA? Because that's actually one of the first times that I kind of ran into you. Yeah. Of course, along with Nick, and then he actually was able to put me on and be like, well, no, that's Lindsay. She's a super dope artist. You need to really tap in. We got to get her on the show. It's like 100%. That's the move, right? But how did you get involved here? Do you have a space here at VAPA?
So I got involved here because I used to work at Cheap Joe's Art Supply, the art store that closed down. Fire. And it was brought to us very suddenly that was happening. Ooh. And I did not want to go back into a Gen Pop job, as I call it.
Gen Pop is crazy. Yeah, I understood. I feel it, though. I got you.
I wanted to stay in art, and it was just conveniently, I knew of the VAPA Center. I had friends who had shows here, but I saw that they were hiring.
Got you.
And I reached out and applied, and luckily I had connected with Arthur at Cheap Joe's, because he had been there a lot buying art and stuff, or buying supplies and stuff like that. And I just got in here. I've been here since last July. Wow. Head front desk receptionist, visitor experience coordinator.
Sit.
So it's been really nice to stay in the community, because 100%. I'm here every day. I get to see what people are doing. I'm allowed to paint and, do my creations up front, and everyone's interested and wants to see and connect, and we are all talking about what everyone's doing, and I love it. Absolutely. I'm so grateful to be here and to be in a place that is art every day. 100%, because that was something I didn't want to lose from Joe's.
100%. So I'm still stuck on the Gen Pop comment, because it's so real. Because once you've had a taste of just being in the creative world and being able to make money in the creative world, you kind of really never ever really want to go back.
No.
Speak to your experience on being able to make a living off art, because a lot of people can't. A lot of people aren't able to, and that's like the biggest goal to do, is just be able to make some kind of money off art, just in some kind of way, and you're able to do that to the point where you can pay bills, you can live off art. How has that been for you, and how hard was it to get to that place?
I'm definitely very lucky because I have a supportive partner. Yes. So it's not just me being sole income. So I am very grateful, and I have that privilege. At the beginning, it was, kind of like a ball rolling, but a slow rolling ball. But as you connect with those spaces and you keep showing up, even if it wasn't an event that I had a table at, if I showed up to the event, showed support because I wanted to be there and I wanted to, maybe be in the room next time behind a table, just consistently showing up to events, just like I consistently show up to my paintbrush.
Absolutely, yes.
That snowballed it quicker.
Yes, absolutely.
The more I was showing up and the more I was connecting, that was the catalyst for it opening up. And honestly, being at VAPA every day helps a lot with that. having the Final Fridays, having open studios at VAPA, just having spaces where we can consistently know that this event is happening and you can show up as an artist is huge for people that are just starting out and for people who have been in the game for the longest time, because you can meet on common ground and those doors can be opened for people that are just starting. And for you as a person who's now been in it for a little bit but is still, starting out.
Exactly.
It's ways for me to remember where I came from and to like pull them with me
100%.
And to also still have a way to like go further. So
absolutely. Are you finding a lot of is it competitive out there when trying to when you're out there? Because I like to think that where you're out here activating, you're networking, so it's more so working together. But of course, like anything else, there's always going to be people looking at it as a competition and thinking that there's not enough spaces. Do you ever feel like there's not enough space, or there's it's over flooding with different artists, or how are you feeling about the current state of the art scene and just the people in there, people in it?
There is competitiveness out there, 100%. I will. That's one of the biggest issues, in my opinion, that the Charlotte art community has, and I'm sure other art communities have them. That's something that I've seen in my experience. I think there's room for everyone. I mean, just speaking to the fact that in this building there's multiple artists under the same mediums, absolutely, multiple musicians, multiple DJs, but we are not all struggling for work. Like, we can all pull each other together.
Absolutely.
It's easier together than it is on your own.
Absolutely.
When, like, it's hard to step into the pool if you have, social anxieties, your mind, XYZ, but once you make that step, it's easier. 'Cause you can pull from your tools, your community, your whatever it may be. So yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Going back to, we're here for plants. You garden at all?
Yeah.
It really popped in my mind, because I mean, obviously, if you're here for plants, you're gardening. What I would love to know, what are you gardening? Do you have a personal garden, or like what are you putting in the ground?
So I'm in a second floor apartment.
That would be tough.
But I have over 200 plants in that 2-bedroom apartment.
Understood.
So I have grown for consumption for food in the past, but being at the apartment now, it's kind of hard,
of course,
to do that. So for my mental health, I grow things that bloom, and I grow a lot of flowers.
Absolutely.
I grow a lot of dahlias, begonias, a lot of tropical plants inside, calatheas, a lot of pothos, prayer lilies. I have like a little terrarium that I've set up that I have a bunch of different plants in and stuff like that. So
understood.
Kind of a little bit of everything.
Has that expanded? Because again, we're talking about flowers, we're talking about just plants in general, we're talking about earth, basically life in general. That's a whole nother aspect of life. Has that opened up the way that you see art? Just of course having and growing these plants and being surrounded by plants. Has that affected the way your outlook on life and of course your art?
Yeah. 100%. I still do sometimes. I mean, I have to check myself. We all constant growth. But I move very fast. Thought-wise, like, motions come very quickly. Plants have kind of taught me to slow down, enjoy the process, like enjoy the growth, and that it may take some time, but that it will happen. Like, Hoyas won't bloom flowers sometimes for 2 years, but once they do, they're beautiful, they're fragrant, lovely. Mine's blooming in my studio right now at Activation for the first time. I'm so happy.
Let's go.
But stuff like that, and being able to see, well, like, if a plant is wilting, it's just like, oh, well, have you watered yourself? Have you fed yourself? Sure. And it sounds very basic, but my upbringing and then losing my mother, I needed to teach myself that. I needed to teach myself, like, parenting and how to take care of myself and stuff like that. Now that the human that did that for me was gone. So they've taught me a lot about that, and being able to slow down and process something, and then going through that reflection to then therefore create an idea of how you want to express that process of reflection.
Absolutely.
Which is a lot of what my pieces end up being. I'll be creating something, and then at the end I'll realize that it came from something that I've just experienced.
Absolutely. So out of the pieces that you've created and the mediums that you do create art, what satisfies you the most? Is it kind of pieces like these, or is it the large scale murals? And when you are creating those, I know that you've broken down when you're inspired to do pieces like these, but let's say you're doing your murals and things of that nature. Do you have the freedom to do your own artwork, or are you just kind of going off whatever the client is needing or client is asking for?
So it depends.
For sure.
I have done murals that have leaned more towards my style, that have given more creative liberty. I've also painted a mural on a wall that I have access to complete freedom, which is my studio's activation, which was a whole different ball game, and what really fun to be able to just do whatever I wanted. But yes, normally it has the creative idea or the artistic idea of the client.
Got you.
And the current situation that I'm on is the mural crew, which is being a hired hand for somebody who has designed the murals.
Got you. Okay, got you.
So I am painting what he has designed, and getting a living wage for that.
Understood.
So that's kind of like, for lack of a better term, paint by number.
And I mean, again, that's the job, right?
Yes,
so
that's the job.
Okay,
So that's like my 9 to 5. So I can program my brain to be like, okay, we do the big thing, we paint the numbers, and then my sweet spot is acrylic gouache on wooden panel. That's my favorite.
Absolutely, that's the go-to.
That's what I want to do always.
Understood.
Even when I get commission work, because a lot of people will ask for acrylic or just no acrylic. But if I get commission work, I'll normally 9 times out of 10 try to steer the client towards acrylic gouache with my past portfolio to show them, hey, this is what it can do. It's very interesting. Like, I think you might like the final outcome of this product with this medium. And normally they're like, yeah, sure, go for it.
100%.
But yeah, that's my favorite.
No, that's amazing. Absolutely. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and transition to the next part of the show. What we call is How Heavy is the Crown? Okay. So How Heavy is the Crown is where we want to know for your personal forgive me. Through your personal ways of how you do your art, we want to know what's the heaviest part of how you do your art. So what's something that you go through, that you see, or that you experience that we might not see? What is something that we might not see from you that you want people to know?
Mental health is a big struggle, and something for me that, I have to deal with in my personal life. Ever since I lost my mom in 2019, a lot of things were brought into my wheelhouse as a human being, just death and grieving and all of that. And it changed a lot of things for me. And through being in the art community, becoming a brand, putting myself outward to be consumed, for lack of a better term, I've had to learn how to present myself and go through that process while I may not be doing the best behind the scenes. So art a lot has taught me how to compartmentalize and how to process and get through things. And there's a lot of that I still struggle with. And murals taught me a lot about that. And helped me a lot, being able to see that I'll show up to a wall some days and I'll be struggling. It'll be hard to get there. I'll have, anxieties, different what ifs running through my head about a wall that I'm about to go. That's all on me to paint. And if I'm doing it by myself, without the crew, if it's a personal job. And, but then I get to go through the process of seeing myself put that on that wall.
Yes. And
seeing a little bit day by day. And then stepping back from it and seeing something massive that I've created. And that, to me, was a huge help of a visual representation through my mental health and that path. But that's something that I really am constantly really working through. I am there and I am trying to be present, but normally I'm working on something in the background like that.
Understood.
So, and I know a lot of other people are too. So that's why I kind of always have empathy for people going in spaces like that.
100%. Are you able to find balance when you're working on between murals in your own situations? Like, is it enough to where you feel comfortable with doing the job and by the numbers, to where you do have enough time to do your actual pieces that you want to do? And has that been able to help? That, if you do have that balance, has that been one of the things that have been able to help you stay mentally together for it?
Yeah, I've been, I'm very grateful for the mural crew and VAPA, both of them kind of being like my 9 to 5s, being able to give me stability, but they also have flexibility in and of themselves. This comes also with effective communication, I think, but just being able to flip back and forth between the two and communicate between the two, and both of them being like, yeah, if you've got something, you've got another job, you've got, an event or whatever, it's cool. We understand. So that has been a blessing, and that's something that I'm very grateful for, which is another reason why I was saying I want to have that art job instead of that Gen Pop job.
Absolutely.
Because they empathize, they understand, they know the way of the game, I guess, if 100%. You will, and they're willing to support the way of the game.
Absolutely. Outside of the activation crew, do you feel the support from the community as far as like your art in particular, and as far as like just you individually?
Yeah, for sure. I did last year in July. I had a solo show at Divine Barrel.
Nice. Absolutely.
And that installation was up for a couple months, but I had a opening night show at Divine. And so many people showed up that were not just activation, VAPA, friends, Cheap Joe's people, like family, and that was really good. That healed a big part of little me.
Absolutely. That's awesome, though.
But yeah, no, the community has been very supportive. Recently was just in the fried chicken show up at Crown Station, too.
Congratulations. I missed that.
Thank you. Yeah,
and
that was a super dope show, super dope turnout, and that was really like, you could see like the CLT family kind of like coming together at that show.
Absolutely.
So 100%, support.
Absolutely. I got you. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and go to the next portion of this segment. We would love to know who you can see passing the crown down to. So if you see any other artists, any other fellow muralists, or any other fellow people that love plants, we would just love to know, who do you see passing down that crown to that can take that and just take it to a whole nother level?
Ooh, that's a really good question. And something that I'm kind of having to load into my brain.
Understood.
I'm currently the protege of Matt Alvis. That is something that he crowned to me at the beginning of this year. And he was like, I'm going to teach you, show you the ropes, like help you out, questions and stuff like that. He was like, but then you have to do the same.
Absolutely.
So I've thought about that. I'm not going to name who. But there's a couple of people in mind that I've thought about as people that I would like to kind of like shadow and help upbring. But those types of people that I will say like characteristics of them, just like very outgoing, like upbeat people.
Understood.
That will show up and consistently show up, like consistently be there, even if you're struggling, even if you're having a bad day, communicating that fact and just showing up.
100%.
Because that's a huge part of, I think, this community is just getting people to show up. It's
the biggest
big part of Charlotte.
Yes.
And if I see you at an event, you're on time, like you want to be there, you're asking questions, you're supporting people, like you're showing up, like that to me, I'm be like, okay, let's connect. Like, let's see if we have something in common, essentially, and like something that I can offer you that will help you grow.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm getting to that point.
Got you.
So
So if you are getting to that point, so are you outside of the muralist crew? Are you looking to work with other artists in some kind of capacity? Like are you looking to collaborate, and what would that look like?
Yeah, a couple years ago, I actually did this back when I was still working at Starbucks. I was doing this collaboration idea where we would get an artist and I would paint half the canvas, or they would paint half the canvas. Absolutely. And we would trade.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And then kind of seeing like where that would go. So I would kind of like to do something like that and just kind of collaborate with people to kind of see their style and see how like our styles can play together, Absolutely. See how we can mesh them. That type of play is interesting to me. But really, like collaborating on murals is where it is at, brother. Yes. Like I enjoy doing a wall by myself, don't get me wrong, because I can kind of have that reflective aspect Absolutely. Like we were just discussing. But when I show up on a mural and I've got some friends to hang around with, listen to music, talk, even if we don't talk and we're all just vibing with our headphones in, it's nice to feel a part of something.
Absolutely.
And a team does that.
Absolutely.
The mural crew has been like that. And then I actually did a mural with my teacher, Matt Alvis. We did a mural at the Wandery in a private apartment. And that, to date, has still been the best mural that I've ever done.
Beautiful.
The most fun, like, quick, and just an enjoyment to do.
Absolutely. What's the average time frame for a mural to be done?
Depends on the size, but I'd say probably like a week-ish, a week and a half for the sizes that I have done.
For sure. What's the largest one?
Largest one so far, I helped out the mural crew on a big, expansive, like, semicircle wall. It was on the top floor of a wealth management firm in Ballantyne.
Sheesh. Okay, so it sounds like some money.
It was pretty big. Yeah, that one was longer. That one was like a month.
Okay.
And so
got you.
Month and change.
And I would assume that, of course, all that is going to be dependent on how available people are to like come in and get it done.
It really, yeah. And we just did one at Renaissance South Park Marriott.
Ooh, got you.
That one took about 2.5 weeks or so, and that one was like just me and one other, and then we would be like 2 and then 2. So always 2.
Got you. So when it comes to murals, are you all basically have to schedule it out how you do this throughout the time, or is it just kind of before you even start, are you scheduling the mural, or are you kind of just going by the seat of your pants when you get it started? I've never seen it like go from point A to point B, so I'd love to know how at least the murals get started and how they end. Yeah,
so he essentially kind of handles the logistics of it all.
I got you.
So he'll get, the job together. He designs everything. It is all his design. And then we will show up kind of as a team and then stencil. We use the VR headsets.
Oh, okay, understood.
Because a lot of his jobs and a lot of the jobs that we end up doing are corporate murals.
Absolutely.
So we've done like a Nizio pizza, a couple of different things like that. So we'll do the VR headset to kind of put his design up on the wall that he has designed in the mock that they have approved.
Absolutely.
And then we paint from there.
Absolutely. That's crazy. So you all are using actual VR in real time to paint the wall as you go?
So we sketch it on with Posca.
Got you.
And then we all have a mock-up on our phone, and then I'll look at the phone essentially and kind of paint from the sketch. So it'll just be line work sketch up there.
Got you. Understood. So that's got to be a new process for you.
It's new to me, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wild.
How's that been you doing that? Because that's different. I've never even heard anybody do that before.
Yeah, and it's it updates constantly too, because like the VR headset actual like it's wild to me. Tech to me is still, and people are like, you're in your 30s, you should. I didn't. No.
Listen, I'm right there with you.
So, and they are still kind of teaching me, because I've been on this crew now about 2 months ish. Okay. So they're still kind of teaching me how the VR works. Gotcha. But it's wild to see, because I mean it'll take about, depending on the size of the mural, but like a day or so to get the entire like design, and then depending on layering, you can paint and then come back and put the headset on again and then stencil something else and then paint over that. So it helps it move quicker.
I was gonna say, does that make it more efficient to do it that way? Do you feel the efficiency doing it that way?
Yeah, and efficiency and consistency to make it look like what's on your phone, because the client is very much expecting it to look like the mock-up that you did on your phone.
Absolutely.
There will be some changes and some inconsistencies as organic as humans, but they really do want it to look like that.
Understood. I got you. Well, Lindsay, as we begin to wrap this up, again, we are super, super grateful to have you here just to tell us your story and everything that you do. Of course, we want to know what you have coming up, what we can expect from you, or what we can tap in that you have coming up. Please let us know.
So we've got that new summer celebration that's happening at Victoria Yards on 7/11. Every final Fridays up until the end of July. So that's the last Friday of every month, that activation from 6 to 11. Live music, food trucks, all the shebang.
In there.
And then, haven't said it yet, but plugging a show around Halloween at Goodyear Arts. It's going to be me and a handful of a couple other artists. Okay. And then our dear buddy Nick over here, Mislabeled Productions,
Mr. Nick,
I will be live painting at the Wish You Were Here show on 6/13 at Starlight. So
do it.
make sure you come out to that because that's going to be dope. That's the thing I love to do, live paint in front of a bunch of awesome music.
Absolutely, 100%. Of course, I'll definitely be in the building because, of course, we'll be hosting the whole thing and, of course, showing love to you when we're in there. So, again, Lindsay, one more time before we get out of here, let us know where we can find you at. And, of course, you have any last words for the audience. The floor is yours. We want to know what you have to say.
You can find me at Instagram, I'm Here for Plants, and www.imhereforplants.com. That's my website. Got prints, stickies, originals, the whole shebang on there. And just want to say thank you for having me and opening this door for me to sit down and talk with you. I've enjoyed it today.
I love. Thank you. Appreciate
that. Thank you to the Charlotte community for opening and accepting me the way you have. And if anyone out there has a warehouse that you want to let 20 artists in, let me know.
Immediately. We need those spaces, and of course we need you at the helm of it to make sure that we're doing it the right way, right, Lindsay?
Thanks.
100%. With that being said, Lindsay, thank you so much again for coming in here, talking with us here at the Creatives Crowns Talk Show. Again, we appreciate you, your time, your effort, everything that you do. Thank you so much. Shouts out to the Mislabel gang behind the camera, of course, Nick Will, of course, yes. Evan the third. We in the building. I've been your host, Tony P. the PHAZE God. Again, make sure you guys are tapping in with everything that we have here. creativescrowns.clt on Instagram, Mislabel Productions, for artists by artists. This _is_FAXA. We do a free open mic every Thursday at Common Market South End, the Rare Show, real artists, real entertainment. Make sure you're tapping into all the creatives that you know. Tap in with Lindsay, tap in with Mislabel, tap in with myself, tap in with a creative as much as you can. Find them a space, show them some love. In the meantime, in between time, we will see you all next time. Make sure you show love June 13th at Wish You Were Here 3. Until then, love you guys. Peace.